Lesson 3.1 on page 101 of your big book is Understanding Positive and Negative Numbers. So our essential question is, how can you use positive and negative numbers to represent real world quantities? In other words, how can you apply this to real life? We have a couple of vocabulary words. Integers are the set of all whole numbers and their opposites. Two numbers are opposite if they are the same distance from zero. Same distance from zero. That's critical. On the number line, but on different sides of zero. For example, the integers positive 3, see that little plus sign? That means positive 3 and negative 3 are opposites. 0 is its own opposite. So 0 doesn't have an opposite, it is its own opposite. So negative 1, positive 1 are opposites because they are equally distant from 0 in the middle. Same with negative 5 and positive 5. They're the same distance from 0 on the number line. Positive numbers are located to the right of 0, and negative numbers are located to the left of 0. All right, here we go. Okay, the temperature at the start of 2009 of a 2009 Major League Baseball playoff game between the Colorado Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies was 2 degrees Celsius. The temperature at the end of the game was negative 4 degrees Celsius. What is the opposite of each temperature? That's a pretty cold game. All right, so what are we asked to find? We're being asked to find the opposite of each temperature. That's what we're being asked to find. All right. And next, where can you find the opposite of a number on the number line? It is the same distance from 0. But on the other side of 0. Okay, so it's the same distance from 0, but on the other side. So going back up here, so negative 2 and positive 2 are on each integer and its opposite on the number line. So the integer 2 is on the right side of 0. Oh, let's get that where you can see it. Okay, so the integer 2 is on the right side of 0. There's 0. Positive 2 is on the right. So graph the opposite of 2 from 0 would be negative 2. It's the same distance from 0, opposite side, and we're going to put negative 2 right there. So the opposite of 2 degrees Celsius is negative 2 degrees Celsius. Notice that we're not always writing that little plus sign in front of the positive 2. That's because it's implied. If there is no sign in front, then you just need to understand that that means it's positive. If it's negative, you always, always, always write the negative sign. All right. Here we go. Negative 4. So negative 4 is on the left side of 0 this time. So we're going to say the left side of 0. Graph the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4 over here on the right side of 0. So the opposite of negative 4 degrees Celsius is 4 degrees Celsius. All right, let's take a look at the next page because we need to understand what 0 represents. All right. So we need to name the integer that represents the situation first, then tell what 0 represents in that situation. A team loses 10 yards at a football play. So they lose 10 yards. That means they got pushed back 10 yards. So the team neither gains nor loses yardage. That's what 0 represents, is that nothing had happened at all in that play. They didn't go forward or back, either way. A point in Yuma, Arizona is 70 feet above sea level. Above sea level. So that would be a positive 70. And 0 in this situation would be sea level. It's not above sea level. It's not below sea level. 0 is sea level. All right, a temperature of 40 degrees below 0 was recorded in Missouri. So that's going to be a negative 40 degrees. So 0 is a temperature of 0 degrees. It's not above 0, it's not below 0, it's just 0 degrees. That's what 0 represents in this situation. All right, Larry withdraws. That's an interesting word. That means to take out. Withdraw means to take out $30 from his bank account. If you're taking money out, are you gaining money or losing money? You're losing it. So a withdrawal would be a negative number. 0 in this situation, so we're not worried about that anymore. 0 in a banking situation means you neither withdrew or deposited. Depositing money means you're putting it in. Oh, I should say nor. Neither withdrew nor, let me make that look better. Be grammatically correct. Nor deposited money. I'm just going to do that symbol so that we can get done a little faster here. Trisha's golf score was 7 strokes below par. Below par. Now, in golf, you're given a certain number of strokes to get the ball down in the little cup, little hole. So, like a really hard hole would be 4 strokes, 4 hits to get the ball in. So it would be a par 4. You get 4 strokes to get it in. If you can get it in 3, then you're above par. If you get it in 5, then you're below par. So if Trisha's golf score was 7 strokes below par, that would be -7 below par. 0 in this case means a score of exactly par. All right, so we're going to do example 2 and then call it good and get our notes done. Here we go. Use a number line to find the opposite. So we could use the symbol negative is synonymous with the word opposite. So here we are finding, you could read that the negative of -3, but what we're really saying is the opposite of -3. So use a number line to find the opposite of -3. Okay, so graph 3 on the number line. So graph 3 on the number line right there. Use the number line to graph the opposite of 3. Well, the opposite of 3 is over here, right? So I'm going to graph that. It's negative 3 is the opposite. Use the number line to graph the opposite of the number you graphed in step 2. What's the number we graphed in step 2? It was negative 3. So the opposite of the opposite takes us right back to 3. So the opposite of negative 3, or the opposite of 3, equals 3. So if you see two negative numbers or negative symbols, pardon me, that means you're going to go back to positive. So the opposite of 3 is negative 3. The opposite of 3 is right back to 3 again. Okay. All right, we're going to write the opposite of this integer. So the opposite of 9 would be negative 9. The opposite of that is going right back to positive 9. So this is 9, or positive 9, either way. So the opposite of negative 12 would be 12. The opposite of that is back to negative 12. Okay, the opposite of 0. Remember that 0 is its own opposite. So that would be the opposite of 0. It is just 0. All right. Okay, so positive and negative integers. Here are our notes. We have our notes on our examples. Opposite numbers are equally distant from 0 on the number line. Okay. So if it's negative, it's to the left of 0. If it's positive, it's to the right of 0. The opposite of 2 is negative 2. The opposite of negative 9 is 9. Here are some examples. Positive means move to the right. Negative means move to the left on the number line. All right.